said, there's entertainers, there's competitors, we're entertainers, we're journalists. But what he said, I guess you could sort of, what do you think about that? What's your reaction to his comments there?
Well, I was watching this game live, and I watched that interview live, and I watched what he said. Now, here I am coloring in all of the context for you guys. When he was being interviewed, you could tell he was nervous and kind of didn't want to be there. He was kind of want to get back to the sideline and watch the game. And so that question followed up when he was giving shorter answers. So when he said that, I felt like he was directly talking to Aditi Kiobwala and saying, you guys are entertainers.
We got Dillon Gabriel out here leaking. And this is a soap opera to the fullest. Even if Shedeur Sanders wasn't a superstar wherever he is, because he is certainly box office. Even if he wasn't that, I still think Dillon Gabriel be like, oh, they drafted this dude behind me? I ain't gonna love this dude. I ain't got love for him, because you're competing.
Breaking news, though, you're not the boring kind. The kind that makes you choke on your popcorn mid-bite. Shedeur Sanders just got roasted live on national TV, but not by a rival coach or a Twitter troll. Nope. It came straight from quarterback Dillon Gabriel, who must have thought ESPN was the right place to launch his stand-up career. And let's just say, that set bombed worse than a forgotten Netflix special. Fans are heated. Shedeur's loyal army is digging up receipts like detectives, and Gabriel might have just sacked his own reputation before the first snap of the season even dropped. Imagine waking up and thinking, you know what would really make my day? Publicly clowning Shedeur Sanders, not in private, not on a podcast, not behind closed doors, no.
And there's competitors, and I understand that. But my job is to compete. I'm telling you right now, Shedeur Sanders is living Cleveland Rocks rent-free in the noggin of the Van Wilder of this sport. You already have justifiers. Roberto Shenanigans saying the pick six wasn't on Dillon Gabriel. Oh, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. Here's a guy that's threatened of Sanders, worried about not making the team, and certainly not QB1.
Gabriel did it live, in full HD, with millions of people watching every eyebrow-raising smirk. That's not confidence. That's self-sabotage in a helmet. Because if there's one crowd you never provoke, it's Shedeur Nation. Those fans treat him like Beyonce with cleats. And Dillon Gabriel, he just tried stand-up comedy at her sold-out stadium concert. Look, Gabriel's got skill, no doubt. He's talented, smart, competitive, all of that. But even the best athletes sometimes have moments where you wonder if their brain went on a bye week. Talking trash about Shedeur Sanders on live TV. That's not bravery, that's career roulette. You're tossing your NFL dreams into a blender and hitting puree. Shedeur isn't just a name anymore. He's a brand, a movement.
The NFL Network for cutting off the original question. Albert Greer says it's kind of unfortunate that the NFL's official account is tweeting this out without the actual question, which was how Gabriel and the quarterbacks are trying to make sure the outside noise doesn't infiltrate what's going on internally. It wasn't a shot at Shedeur.
A walking highlight reel. His presence alone fills arenas, and now Dillon Gabriel's learning the hard way. Some names you just don't play with. He could roll into practice late, stretch for 5 seconds, and still steal more camera time than Dillon Gabriel throwing a hat trick of touchdowns. And Dillon really thought it was smart to compare himself to Shedeur Sanders in front of the world. That's like stepping up to Gordon Ramsay with a pack of instant noodles and calling it a cook-off. The aftermath? Absolute chaos. Within minutes, Twitter.
Well, Dillon Gabriel gave him a little help. I'm not even speaking on Dillon Gabriel's on-field performance. I mean, I think Shedeur had a better on-field performance.
X was melting down like a broken scoreboard. Shedeur's fans transformed into full-blown investigators, historians, and meme-making assassins. They had receipts, screenshots, and punchlines ready before Dillon could even grab his Gatorade. Every single still shot of his face after that moment is now living forever as a GIF, looping across timelines everywhere. It's like the internet collectively decided to turn his expression into a lesson in instant regret. He wasn't trending for highlight reels. No way. He was trending because the world wanted to see the exact frame, his confidence packed its bags and left. And let's not pretend the Sanders effect isn't real. Every time someone tries to come at Shedeur, it ends ugly.
Tell me, Dillon Gabriel plays a half of football and then throws an absolute shot at Shedeur Sanders? 13 of 18, 143, one pick, 6, mind you. And he comes back to the podium, sideline interview, and says this?
Every single time. Check the stats. Trash talkers either end up apologizing on podcasts, tearing up behind tinted visors, or riding the bench while Shedeur casually tosses another 300-yard masterpiece. Going against him is like arguing with the internet. You don't win, you just get roasted and maimed into oblivion.
Dillon Gabriel fired major shots at Shedeur Sanders immediately.
Dillon Gabriel didn't just throw shade, he launched his own reputation straight into a wood chipper and smiled. Doing it. Now picture being his coach. You spend weeks preaching focus, discipline, professionalism, and then your quarterback jumps on live TV acting like he's auditioning for a Comedy Central roast. If you're the coach right now, you're not just mad. You're in full crisis control mode. You're staring at the locker room whiteboard, wondering how much bleach it'll take to scrub this mess off the season's storyline. Because from now until Christmas, every press conference is going to sound the same. So coach, how's Dillon handling the Shedeur fallout? And that's the kind of question no playbook can save you from. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders doesn't even have to lift a finger.
Just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. And that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this mid-game, but, you know, it's something that I'll get used to and just want to be the best team that I can and create an environment where we can all go do our best work. That's all we want to do. It's just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors. And
I had to hear it again to make sure I heard what I heard.
That's the real power move. He can post a single smirk on his Instagram story and boom, the internet takes care of the rest. The silence, louder than any trash talk Dillon could dream up. Because when you're the star, you don't chase beef. Beef chases you. And right now, the beef is Dillon Gabriel, slow cooking in his own bad decisions. Here's the kicker. Dillon's insult wasn't even good. If you're going to risk your image on live TV, at least make it clever. Throw in a line with some flavor, some sting, something that makes the crowd go, all right, that was savage, but kind of funny. Instead, he served up the verbal equivalent of a soggy sandwich. No bite, no seasoning.
Some very, very interesting comments. He said, there are entertainers and there are competitors. And my job is to compete. Right. He tried to clarify later at the presser saying he meant the media are the entertainers and a competitor, and he's a competitor. And he wasn't taking a shot at Shedeur, but the damage was done. Everybody knows what he meant by that, because you know why? And I'm going to let you take off. You remember at Oregon, what the head coach said when they played Colorado?
Right.
Who was the quarterback?
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback?
Just regret on a plate. Even the cameraman probably sighed mid-shot. If you're going to torch your reputation, at least make it a punchline worth replaying in the locker room. Instead, this moment's going down as a masterclass in self-sabotage. Zero humor, zero timing, and all embarrassment. But let's zoom out for a second. Why did this explode so fast? That's the Shedeur Sanders effect. When Shedeur plays, viewership skyrockets like he's running both the NFL and Netflix combined. Stadiums sell out, ratings spike, and ESPN can't stop looping his highlights. Dillon, bless his heart, doesn't bring that kind of energy. And that's the truth. His little jab wasn't just aimed at Shedeur, it was aimed at a cultural force bigger than him. You can't insult the sun and expect people to cheer for the flashlight. Oh, Dillon Gabriel's PR team must be sweating bullets right now, like they just ran sprints in full pads under the summer sun. You can practically see them huddled in a conference room, drafting
entertainers, and you have a job to do, and I respect it, right? And I'm a competitor, so I have a job to do as well. And I think, just understanding that, that's how I've lived by, and I've said that multiple times. So definitely not a new quote, but something that I've definitely.
We're sorry statements, scheduling apology interviews, maybe even booking a charity event where Dillon can hug puppies and rebuild his image. He's about to spend more time saying sorry than studying his playbook, while Shedeur Sanders just keeps shining, casually reminding everyone why that weak insult never stood a chance. The memes, they've gone nuclear. Social media turned his mistake into a full-time comedy festival. People are photoshopping him at the kids' table while Shedeur dines with legends. His clip is getting chopped up, remixed, and blasted across TikTok with the precision of a DJ spinning embarrassment. Dillon didn't just step into the mess, he cannonballed straight into the internet's creativity blender. Now every corner of social media is feasting. TikTok, X, Instagram, Reddit, all serving up the same dish, Dillon Gabriel a la regret. And honestly,
if I'm Shedeur, I'm like, duck. Direct shot at Shedeur. And I don't know Dillon Gabriel, but I know the dynamics in which he's dealing with. I've told you guys countless times how many teammates I've had, and whether it was me in that position or other teammates where you had a love-hate relationship with.
You almost feel bad for him. But then you remember, this wasn't some slip of the tongue. This was a sober, deliberate decision. He looked into the camera, delivered that line, and thought it was a good idea. Choices have consequences. And watching his QBR fall while his meme score hits all-time highs. Meanwhile, every other quarterback in the country is quietly sipping Gatorade like, thank goodness it's not me. Because nothing unites football fans faster than watching one guy's ego go up in flames on live TV while he tries to clown a superstar. And let's get this straight, this isn't just football drama anymore. This is pop culture. Shedeur's name doesn't just live in highlight reels, it lives on trending pages, talk shows, and entertainment blogs. Dillon's insult didn't stay in the sports section, it spilled into the mainstream. Late night comedians are cracking jokes about it, meme pages are eating it alive, and somehow Dillon managed to make Shedeur even bigger by trying to take him down. That's not an insult, that's free marketing with a side of self-destruction. So what happens next? Dillon will go out there, try to win games, keep his head down, but every touchdown will come with whispers of, hey, aren't you that guy who got cooked by Shedeur's silence and Shedeur Sanders? He's just going to keep stacking highlights, building his empire, and acting like Dillon Gabriel doesn't even exist. That's the coldest move possible, the ultimate burn. Dillon handed him free publicity, and Shedeur doesn't even have to say thank you. It's like giving your rival a sword and then watching them hang it on their wall as a trophy. Dillon Gabriel's little stunt wasn't just bad timing, it was catastrophic judgment. He didn't poke the bear, he set up camp inside the cave, lit a fire, and started singing lullabies, and that bear...
Here's a litmus test. You ever been on a team? Go grab that team photo. Right now, how many of those guys can you name? Go. Not all of them, for sure. 50%, most people can't. It's because we're not all connected, even though we're all a part of the same thing. So Dillon Gabriel is connected to the Cleveland Browns because he got drafted 3rd round, excited for his opportunity and trying to make the squad. Hours later, they draft another guy who has now taken not only Cleveland, but the whole football world by storm. And now, every time Dillon Gabriel hears his name, he hears Shedeur.
It's Shedeur Sanders, backed by one of the loudest, most loyal, and most relentless fan bases in all of college football. If you want to survive in this sport, you don't insult Shedeur Sanders on live television. You shake his hand, compliment his cleats, and pray the cameras don't catch you blinking too hard in his direction. Dillon wanted a viral moment. Well, congratulations, he got one. Just not the kind that builds a legacy. You'd think by now players would have learned their lesson. Trash-talking Shedeur Sanders is basically career suicide at this point. It's like trying to tackle a freight train wearing flip-flops. There's enough history here to fill a Netflix documentary titled "They Tried Him and Regretted It." We've seen it before. Athletes, coaches, even analysts who couldn't resist taking a shot, only to end up backpedaling faster than a corner trying to cover Tyreek Hill. Yet Dillon still walked out there, mic on, chest puffed, brain apparently unplugged, thinking, today's the day I test the wrath of Shedeur Nation. Spoiler alert.
That he's saying there's entertainers, meaning those of us in the media or those that are criticizing, and he's a competitor, and in this context, he's not listening to the noise. Is that what you're trying to translate? Because I'm hearing a small jab there at Shedeur as being an entertainer with the top watch and everything like that, and everything that falls.
Shedeur Nation doesn't take prisoners. It takes screenshots, and they worked overtime. Within hours, the receipts were flying. Entire threads popped up online like a digital trial. Fans digging up stats, old clips, awkward interviews, and every missed throw from high school to now. One fan even pulled out his Pop Warner tape and posted, "He's been mid since 2009. That's commitment, and it's brutal." Dillon thought he was dropping a hot take. Instead, he turned himself into a group project for every meme creator and football troll with Wi-Fi. The internet didn't just roast him, it catered a buffet of humiliation and invited everyone to eat. And here's the wildest part, the narrative flipped instantly. In just one day, Dillon Gabriel went from quarterback to cautionary tale. He's no longer remembered for his throws, he's remembered as that guy who tried to clown Shedeur Sanders and ended up starring in the internet's favorite soap opera. His whole legacy might end up being a footnote under Shedeur's Wikipedia page. Imagine his grandkids one day asking, "Grandpa, weren't you a quarterback?" And all he can say is, "Yeah."
I think he was taking a shot at Shedeur.
You think so?
When have we ever thought about the media, those beat writers as entertainers? We've heard his coach, he was on the team when he said they're celebs.
Wait, but you can't tie him and his coach together as if they have the same mind, as if they're one. You
Name the time you've ever heard someone say there are entertainers and there are competitors, and I'm here to compete. Tell me the time.
Right. Okay. Listen. Let's say he's taking a shot at Shedeur, right? At what point has he been an entertainer? He's a football player as well.
But we've heard people say that's what he's more.
But mostly, I was the example of what not to do. He didn't even settle for a cheeky subtweet. Nah, Dillon Gabriel went full Broadway with it. That's like robbing a bank in broad daylight, waving to the security cameras, and leaving your ID on the counter for good measure. He didn't just open the door to criticism, he built a revolving door, rolled out the red carpet, and handed every critic a mic. And here's the twist. Shedeur Sanders didn't even have to respond. He didn't need to clap back, post, or tweet a single thing. His silence said everything, louder, sharper, and way more devastating than any comeback could be. The internet did the heavy lifting, running a full-blown circus on his behalf. That's the beauty of Shedeur's status. He doesn't have to fight. Millions will gladly do it for him. While Dillon's out here fumbling through explanations and clarifying comments, Shedeur can just chill, sip water on the sideline, and still dominate the PR war without breaking a sweat. It's like showing up to a water fight with a fire hydrant. Dillon was soaked before the first question even hit. Practice used to be about running plays. Now it's about dodging reporters. Every interview turns into a press conference with the same question. So what did you think of Dillon's comments about Shedeur? If frustration burned calories, that whole team would have six-packs by now. And the boosters? Oh, they're fuming. You don't take shots at the guy whose name literally prints money. Shedeur isn't just a player. He's an economy. ESPN builds segments around him. Nike builds campaigns around him. And fans plan their weekends just to watch him play. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel accidentally turned himself into a sideshow nobody bought tickets for. Let's be honest, boosters don't cut checks for chaos. They want wins, sellout crowds, and jerseys flying off shelves, not their quarterback starring in the latest viral mess. Dillon's moment was supposed to be confidence. Instead, it became content. Now we've officially entered the damage control era. Dillon's camp is in scramble mode, spinning this PR disaster like a tech startup trying to explain a crash on launch day. Expect a perfectly filtered Instagram post with way too many ellipses. A caption that starts with, "We all make mistakes," and ends with comments limited to friends only. Expect a round of interviews that sound like ChatGPT drafted them at 3 a.m., and teammates awkwardly defending him with lines like, he's misunderstood, or it was taken out of context, even though the context was him saying it clearly.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Ocho. Go ahead.
Well, listen, I don't. Hey, Chad, I don't want to do him like that. I want to give Dillon Gabriel a little grace, a little understanding, because I don't think a college kid coming in as a rookie in the NFL would take that kind of shot at a teammate that he's competing with for a job. I just don't see. I don't see it. I see it as him when he says entertainers in that aspect where he said it's the media. I'm not sure how he views the media as the entertainers, but the way the media stirs the pot and creates the ruckus, and all he does is compete. I see it from that.
Live on national TV, Dillon Gabriel's defense right now, man, it's weaker than off-brand duct tape in a hurricane. The excuses aren't sticking, and every time he talks, the hole just gets deeper. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders' stock keeps soaring. He's the only guy who can turn public drama into primetime promotion. The man makes controversy look like a photo shoot. While Shedeur gets waves of support and respect, Dillon's getting flooded with memes, and the internet's creativity is absolutely ruthless. The memes are next level. People are photoshopping Dillon, standing on stage at open mic night, holding a mic while a crowd boos. Others are editing him into sports movie posters as the side character whose only job is to motivate the hero. One viral post even plastered his face onto the "This is fine" dog meme, calmly sipping coffee while everything around him burns. Dillon isn't just trending, he's been immortalized as comedy gold. But here's the real issue. Dillon didn't think this through, not even a little, because this isn't just about jokes anymore, it's about reputation politics. NFL scouts don't only look at stats, they look at leadership, composure, and how a player handles the spotlight. And right now, Dillon's out here showing the decision-making skills of a guy live tweeting his own firing. Scouts are watching, and the question isn't, can he throw anymore? It's, will he blow up the locker room the next time he gets a hot mic? And that's the tragedy of it all, because the answer doesn't look good. Sure, he's in headlines, but not the kind that boost draft stock. He's not Dillon Gabriel leads team to victory. He's Dillon Gabriel roasts Shedeur Sanders, gets cooked instead. He wanted ESPN highlights. He ended up on TMZ. He wanted a Heisman campaign. He got a meme campaign. Meanwhile, Shedeur's sitting somewhere calm and collected, probably laughing, maybe texting his friends like, "Did you see this?" Because when you're at the top, you don't chase clout. Clout chases you. And Dillon just became Exhibit A in Shedeur Sanders' Museum of Bad Decisions by rivals. And here it is, the ripple effect. Every player, every coach, every analyst just got a brand new reminder of the golden rule. Don't cross Shedeur Sanders unless you're ready to trend for all the wrong reasons. This isn't just a PR warning, it's a survival guide for the entire college football world. Dillon Gabriel basically wrote the textbook so no one else has to. Congratulations, Dillon. You're now a living cautionary tale. Fans are eating this saga up like it's primetime TV. They love this kind of chaos. It's reality TV disguised as football. People are literally bringing popcorn to practice. Reporters are sniffing around for locker room drama. And let's be honest, Dillon is never shaking this one off. The internet doesn't forget. In 5 years, he could be announcing his retirement, and the top comment will still read, "Remember when you insulted Shedeur on live TV?" He could run for office someday, and the campaign attack ads would just be that same clip replayed in slow motion with dramatic music. There's no escaping it. This moment is tattooed onto his career like a bad ex's name, and the comedy, it writes itself. Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback who tried to clown Shedeur Sanders and ended up juggling his own reputation instead. The man turned a football rivalry into a full-blown circus. And guess what? He's the clown car driver leading the parade. Every spin, every fumble, every press conference now carries that same shadow, the one named Shedeur. Maybe that's his legacy, not as a star, not as a leader, but as the guy who turned one careless sentence into an entire cultural event. Dillon wanted smoke, but he forgot that smoke always comes with fire. He thought dissing Shedeur would make him look bold. Instead, It made him look burned out. He thought he was starting a rivalry, but all he started was his own roast session. And through it all, Shedeur Sanders just sat back, calm as ever, collected another silent W, and let the world do the talking for him. Dillon didn't just lose a moment, he lost the season, the story, and maybe even his chance at being remembered for anything other than this massive blunder. Dillon Gabriel versus Shedeur Sanders wasn't a rivalry. It was a one-man demolition derby where Dillon strapped himself in, floored the gas, and aimed straight at a brick wall labeled Live TV. The wall didn't break, Dillon did. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this isn't just a story about football. It's a masterclass in how one bad take can turn a quarterback into a headline, and a headline into history.